Spacey Sims, and we're back with more Piofiore, and we're continuing Nicola's route, almost to the end of chapter 4, I think. I think we got one meanwhile story, and then we'll see. So, halfway-ish through? Because, we get 9 chapters, but, then our bad endings and good endings, all the endings take, 6 freaking parts. I love it. This game's got so much going on. Anyway. More days passed without my having a chance to see Nicola. Then one day, while drinking coffee in the lounge with Gil and the rest... Hey, Gilbert, I need to ask you something. Can I see you in your office later? Of course. Stop by whenever you like. Oh, Nicola, how about taking a break? Sorry, but I don't have the time. I'm busy, so if you'll excuse me... Nicola quickly turned around and walked away. Why do you do this to me, Nicola? I gave a small sigh, seeing him hurry off without another word. He's avoiding me. I don't know why, I just love Oliver's faces. He's seriously, that's his concerned face, but it's oh god, you're gonna make me deal with this. It's slightly concerned constipation face, I don't know. Apparently there is already a fan disc for this out there, which I did not know about. It's not localized, but we can only hope. We can fucking hope. But that doesn't mean that we get side dates with everybody else in the game, and that's what I want. Sure, I want the other fluff for... Well, I don't even think it's fluffy. But yes, I want the other, quote-unquote fluff for our boyfriendos, but I want side pieces, because, I just want to see how this would be. Especially Roberto. I swear to God, that would just be a train wreck, and I need it. But anyway. Say, why don't you give up on this? You saw the look on his face, didn't you? Oliver spoke to me with pity as he dipped a biscotto in his coffee? Is that different than a biscotti? What's the difference? Anyway. These past few days, I'd been enjoying coffee with Gil and Oliver here in the lounge. They were a lot friendlier than I thought and took the time to speak with me. I'm just getting in Nicola's way. I suppose that's it. He does have that troubled look on his face when he sees me. But I was scared that he was just going to disappear from me if I didn't try my best. It's too soon to give up, I mean, he is a pretty good liar. Gilbert, don't get yourself involved. Come on, I can't let a nice girl like her cry like that. She's not crying. Yeah, I'm not crying, Jesus. I'm just saying. Now then, about Nicola. Sure, he may be trying to avoid you, but that's not the only thing on his mind. What do you mean? Exactly as I said. I'm not saying anything philosophical here. But why don't you tell me a little bit about you and Nicola? Like what? Oh, what does he say? Oh, what is he saying to you? He doesn't want to talk with you anymore? I traced back my conversations with Nicola, then shook my head. He didn't say that to me, but he mentions that he only approached me because he wanted to use me. He also said he wouldn't treat me as kindly as he did before. Uh-huh. Gil gave a wide grin and continued to question me. What about you? Do you want the kind Nicola from before? I was happy with how Nicola took care of me back when we were with the Falzone family. But I'm not trying to make amends just so he can keep treating me kindly. Figures. You keep going near him even when he's giving you the cold shoulder. I don't know him at all. It's hard to tell whether he's lying to me or not. Which is why I want to get to know him better. Instead of, she's such a nice person, because most people are you little bat. You brought me here, and then and he's like, fuck you. And you're like, fuck you! You wouldn't talk to him anymore. This is why she's great, though, because he does not know how to deal with it. We're like, no, but Nicola, I still want to be your friend. And he's like, wait, what? Huh? He does not know how to do this. I see. Well, it looks like you have your answer, then. Huh? I've known Nicola a long while. He used to act as a liaison between us and the Falzone. So we've been seeing each other every so often. You've been seeing my boyfriend? Rude. I didn't know that. He doesn't like being intruded upon. He's a great listener, but a horrible speaker when it comes to talking about himself. Hell, I still don't know what his drink is. Indeed. It seems as though he has a knack for hiding his likes and dislikes from others. Huh. What's the matter? Nicola doesn't talk about himself? Yeah, he must like keeping secrets. But he told me about his past. Nicola talked to me about his childhood. Did he make that up to mislead me? No, that seemed too real to be a lie. Maybe he spoke to me about it to bring me closer to him. But if he wanted to do that, he could have lied about something a bit simpler. From the looks of it, I think Nicola feels bad about treating you the way he does now. Maybe he's trying to put distance between you now so that he doesn't feel bad for you. That couldn't be true. How about we make a bet? A bet? On whether or not my guess is right. Gilbert, you're getting yourself into trouble again, aren't you? Oliver sighed in disbelief, but Gil was grinning at me like a child. The bet's between you and me. What do you say? I don't think we'll ever get an answer. Nicola wouldn't tell us even if we asked him directly. I have an idea that's sure to work. How about it? He's like, I'm gonna sell you to the Lao Shu, and then I'll go after you. And you're like, but what if it fails? Well, I mean, whatever. Guess I didn't need to ask. All right. I thought for a moment, then nodded hesitantly. Soon, I'd find out how bad of a decision it was to agree to Gil's bet. Oh no. Oh no. I can't seem to rest well recently. No surprise, considering I need to take care of both her and the Visconti's work. No, she's not a reason why I'd be tired. I let out a sigh and chuckled with scorn. I decided to drag my tired body back to the new room that I called home. Oh, there we are. That's Gilbert and... Oh my god, is Gil gonna like... I knew it! When he saw them, I was like, oh god, Gil's plan isn't to like fucking pretend we're in a relationship and shit, are we? It absolutely fucking is. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. I was captivated the moment I laid eyes on you, and now I'm a slave to my desires. I just feel like he's being fakely dramatic. I want you to accept my love. Gilbert held her hand and kissed it, and gently kissed it. Wait a minute, Gil. No, I can't wait. You've set my heart ablaze with passion. What the? Gilbert then forced Space into her room. Nicola's like, Wait, Gil, you're too close. Sorry, but bear with me a little longer. Here comes Nicola. What's going on in here, Gilbert? It's none of your business, I'm your boss. Nicola came storming into my room and he forced Gil off of me, pulling him away as I sat upon the bed in surprise. Don't get in my way, Nicola. Love's free, isn't it? Hey, you did bring her here as a gift to me when you came here. Whoa! Gil, I know this is just a ruse, but holy shit. I can do whatever I want with her. Love? There's no love here. It looks like you were only trying to force yourself on her. Nicola's smiling. No, wait. For some reason, he seems really angry. Yeah, because he loves us. You're an Italian gentleman. I need to request that you act like one. Besides, I brought her here under the condition that you would protect her. If you're a man of honor, keep your word. He was smiling as usual, but his eyes were glaring intensely at Gil. Noticing the bewildered look on my face, Gil suddenly laughed and shrugged. Guess I won that bet, huh? Or do you want to see more? No. Gilbert, what do you mean, bet? She was so down in the dumps that I decided to do a little role-playing. Nicola, if you really didn't want to get involved, why bother to come in and help? Forget the lies and save your efforts for the truth instead. And with that, Gil quickly took his leave from the room. What's stronzo? Derogatory slang in Italian. Oh! Thank you, Nicola. I hesitantly spoke to Nicola as he muttered profanities at what just happened. I'm happy you did that for me, but I'm so sorry to deceive you like this. I didn't think Gil was going to go that far. Well, I could tell you were seriously not enjoying the situation you were in. Don't scare me like that. He was worried about me? Oh, can I ask you a favor? I looked straight at Nicola. I won't ask that you treat me the way you did back at the Falzone Manor. Instead, could we rebuild our relationship from the beginning? I want to know who you really are, Nicola. I don't mind you're not treating me well as long as we can talk. Though, to be honest, I'm not sure why I want to talk to you so much. He's so not even... He's just looking at you like deadpan. Not blinking, nothing. It's like, some reaction would be nice. I won't speak to you as nicely as before. Is that fine? Yes. Thank you, Nicola. I won't speak to you as nicely. 'Cause I was just playing. Why won't you speak to me as nicely? 'Cause I feel like that isn't all an act. Why are you so happy? Because I just am. Meanwhile, story. Silence. Oh no. Oh no. Poor Dante. Nicola betrayed us? If that's true, we're in a lot of trouble. An underboss betraying the family isn't normal. Yeah, if that's true, it's seriously going to affect the Falzone name. I don't see why we need to worry since our next step is inevitable. It's supposed to be okay, so we're Dante. Okay, I was like, but wait, where is he? Sitting here, us. Under normal circumstances, killing Nicola was to be expected. Let him be. My voice brought silence to the salon. Boss! I look around the room with a cold, blank stare. No one said a word. I returned from the salon back to my office and fell heavily into my chair. Acknowledging Nicola's betrayal will affect the morale of the Falzone family. Nicola's betrayal is still a matter of speculation instead of truth to many here. Nicola may have fabricated a betrayal in order to infiltrate the opposition. Some within our organization believe that to be true as well. Oopsie! Sorry, I hit my button. I was adjusting my shirt and I put my remote down and then I bumped it. Nicola, what are you thinking? N thought? A thought crossed my mind, which I shook out of my head. If Nicola's betrayal is real, then I'll finish him off myself. But I slowly exhaled as I continued to think. I mean, we know it's not, but... Because I just am. Nicola let out a sigh, but I could tell he was looking at me with kind eyes. From here onward, Nicola would never avoid me like before, ever again. The end. Chapter 5? Chapter 5. Amaro. The season was transitioning slowly from autumn to winter. Gil said he'd let me go back to the church after he's done fulfilling his goal. But when? How much longer do I have to wait? I asked Gil a number of times before, but his answer was always the same. That he couldn't share the family's plan with me. I suppose that makes sense. They weren't going to just do nothing. I knew something was happening. But they wouldn't tell me what it was. I understand why, but it still bothered me. Another morning arrived in the Visconti Manor. I sighed and slowly got myself up from my bed. Wonder if I'll see Nicola today. Even if we don't have the time to talk, just seeing him around would be nice. Yesterday, I felt I'd finally gotten closer to him again. I suppose I should thank Gil for setting all that up for me. The memory of Gil's ridiculous scheme came rushing back. I was far too excessive. Even if it was a setup, I still felt bad for what Nicola had to go through. I got dressed as I thought about what happened yesterday. Once I was ready, I opened the door to step into the hallway when... Oh! I suddenly saw him passing by outside my door. He looked at me and smiled a little. Aww. Buongiorno. Buongiorno, Nicola. The weather looks nice today. Oh, you're right. And our conversation ended. Well, I suppose a morning greeting should be this short. If only we could talk a bit more. It took long enough to finally mend things, too. Oh, I found a lot of interesting things in the kitchen here. And they have ingredients and seasonings that I've never seen before. I spoke with Gil and he said that he imports the things he likes from overseas. Gil said he liked American pizza. American pizza. Pizza. Not only were the toppings different, but even the dough wasn't the same as in Berlin. Oh? It seems like I got his attention. His response wasn't a simple reaction. I could tell he was actually listening and even open to conversation. I was thrilled that we continued speaking until we arrived at the lounge. After you, Signorina. Thank you. Nicola opened the door for me very naturally and escorted me in. I know it was just something he did as a gentleman, but even that made me happy. Like, girl's so fucking in love with him. I don't blame her. I fucking love him too. Cafe latte, I presume. Huh? I'm gonna make myself an espresso so I can make your cafe latte as well. Thank you. You seem to be in a good mood. I remember when you used to make them for me before. I felt a little nostalgic. I missed it. I missed you! Oh, but this is something you normally do for others, right? Mine would just be one of them. Even so, I'm really happy that you'd spare any time for me. Nicola's like, I don't know what to do here. Nicola's eyes widened in surprise, hearing my appreciation. Are you trying to flirt with me? Huh? Nicola then turned around to go prepare the coffee. I stared blankly at his back as he left. His attitude seems to have changed from before. He was still acting as a gentleman, escorting me and preparing coffee for me. I won't speak to you as nicely as before. Is that fine? He was right that he wasn't speaking to me in a sweet way anymore, but I was sure that deep down his kindness hadn't changed a bit. I suppose he's just a little strange. That explains why I like him. You know, I like the strange ones. I like the weirdos, I like the robots, and I like the angsty bitches who shove me up against walls, especially if they're wearing glasses. If they got glasses, I like them regardless of what fucking personality they have. I don't care. You have glasses, I love you. You know? You're a little weird? Fucking love you. You're a robot? Fucking love you. Nicola's a little weird. A little bit of a flirt. You know, with his... But that was all a ruse. But still, it's okay. His thoughtfulness was just a part of his personality. Just thinking about it made Nicola seem cuter than ever. Yeah, you were definitely trying to flirt with him then. I'm just saying. Here you go. With plenty of sugar and milk. And just the way you like it, right? Absolutely. Thank you, Nicola. I'm very happy. Well, and next time I'd appreciate it if you'd tone it down a notch or two. Nicola looked away a bit, then sipped his espresso. I looked at him, studying his face. Nicola? I decided to ask him for a special favor. Oh. It's not what we think it is, but I'm just saying, oh, maybe it is. It's definitely not, but... It was late at night when I suddenly heard a knock on my door. Nicola, you came... Well, you did say I could come late at night. Are you sure I'm not bothering you? He's like, I mean, I'm okay with this, but are you sure you know what you're doing? No, not at all. I was thinking you wouldn't be able to make it tonight, so I'm happy that you did. So... He asked me here for a reason, right? Inviting someone into your bedroom at night begs the question... That's not why I called you! The look on Nicola's face is like... Yeah? But we were like, hey, could you come to my room at night, at some point late at night? And he's like, sure. Wait, okay. Well, here's the thing. Now you know he's kind of interested in something. Whether he's in love with you or just wants to get some. He still showed up at your room. You know? I mean... Do you remember what I said this morning? Do you mind if I ask you a favor? What is it? I want to talk with you more. I know you're busy, so if you have any time to spare, that would be great. The only spare time I have is late at night. Is that okay with you? Like, yes, any time of night's fine, so please come by. Understood. I invited him over so that we could talk. Talk, sure, girl. Nicola, however, shrugged and sighed. Nicola's like, I mean, I was just hoping talk was a euphemism. Nicola and I are like on the same fucking page here. Most girls who ask me to chat just use it as an excuse for another motive. Nicola chuckled jokingly. I wasn't sure what to say. He was hoping. The look on his face is like, I was hoping. Oh, I understand. I knew you were serious about talking. You can rest assured that I didn't come here for nefarious purposes. You were hoping a little bit, though, weren't you? I'm just saying. Nefarious? Oh, did you want me to? The blushing on your face says so. Huh? Not at all! Maybe a little. Oh, come now. I'm just joking. You're being pretty mean tonight. I'm spending my spare time with you, so the least you could do is give me some leeway. Well, I suppose. I settled down and then turned toward him. Thank you, Nicola, for making time for me like this. You're very welcome. It may not seem like much, but the smile on his face meant so much to me. There's a lot I wanted to talk to you about. The people here are really nice and treat me very well, but I'm still a bit anxious around them and scared sometimes too. We're all the same in the Mafia, though. Nicola calmly looked at me and spoke with some edge to his voice. You should have kept your distance from me too, while you still had the chance. Yeah, I tried that in the last route, and you were gonna fucking kill me anyway, so, like, this just seemed like the lesser of two evils if you think about it. My god, nothing we do is right for this man. What a bitch. You should have stayed away from me. I tried to stay away from you, and I tried to be with Dante, and you tried to kill me. Like, what do you want from me? You know what? Fine. Next time I'll stay further away, and I'll go with Yang, and I'll get myself assaulted. The fuck, Nicola? It's like, you're never gonna be happy. Jesus. God. Just ask so much. So high maintenance. Sure, you're in the Mafia, but you're still a person, Nicola, to me. Oh. Sure, you're in the Mafia, but you're still a person, Nicola, to me. It seems like a weird thing to say. Like, I get what she's trying to say, like, yeah, you're in the Mafia, but you're still a person to me. But it's just weird to be like, you're still a person, Nicola, to me. I just can't, that doesn't, like, have a natural flow to it. It'd be more like, sure, you're in the Mafia, but Nicola, you're still a person to me. That has a more natural flow. Anyway, semantics. It just felt weird reading it. Oh, he was looking at me with a puzzled look on his face. I know that sounds strange, but, yeah, especially the way you phrased it, but you aren't scared of me? I mean, only in Dante's route. No, you do scare me at times. I know you're capable of harming others for the sake of your family. I was terrified when I saw him torture one of his own back in the underground cell. But you're not just scary. Nicola, there's much more to you than that. I had so many thoughts and feelings toward him that words weren't enough to describe it. Well, as long as you know that I'm someone to be feared. Aw, I doubt it. You're like one of those little yippy dogs. You're like, oh, so cute. Well, I mean, actually, those dogs are kind of nasty, but... I mean, yes, technically, he's probably gonna... Well, we're gonna die in that one part. We saw when he had the gun to our head, and we're like, go quietly! Yeah, if we don't go quietly, we're definitely gonna die, but whatever. Nicola smiled bitterly, then sighed in a weary way. It's my responsibility for bringing you over here. So if you'd like, I'll try and make time to talk with you like this again. Thank you. I know it's too much trouble, but I really appreciate it. Well, I do feel bad for being too cold towards you when we first got here. Really? What Gil told me crossed my mind. Come to think of it, Gil mentioned that you probably felt bad for treating me the way you did. And that's true. It did feel terrible. I lied to you, abused you, and later tried to put distance between us. I could tell he was speaking to himself with scorn. I looked at Nicola. Why are you talking to me again? You're not a good liar! Why are you talking with me like this? Even with what happened yesterday, I thought you were going to keep ignoring me, He smiled with a troubled look on his face. He doesn't know. It was just that you were a lot more stubborn than I thought. Also, I guess I still have a sliver of conscience, even as a mobster. Conscience? Mind you, I think it's a two-way street when it comes to being fooled. I should have been able to lie to you without any remorse. But how do I word this? You're surprisingly sharp despite that happy-go-lucky look on your face. Just scares me seeing how you act like a child and an adult at the same time. I kept ignoring you, but you still kept at it. I just started feeling guilty just looking at you. We guilted him! He's like, I felt guilty just looking at you! We're like, hi, Nicola! And he's like, I feel guilty! I listened carefully to his words and thought about what he said about me. What is it? You said I act like a child and adult, and that I'm happy-go-lucky, but I'm not sure how to react to that. I'm complimenting you. Sort of. Nicholas sighed, then tapped his chest with his thumb. I hate to say this, but my heart's telling me that those things are what makes you special. Seeing a smile was confusing me. Should I be blushing? Happy? I tried to calm myself down, feeling my heart racing even faster. It always bewildered me, for as long as I stayed at the Falzone Manor, why you were so kind to me, Nicola. So, when I learned that you were only treating me kindly to use me, it actually cleared the doubts from my mind. Wait a second. You do know that most people would be upset about what I did. The look on his face is like, wait, what? I suppose. If the situation were different, I may have been too. But I've had far too much on my mind since coming here, so it took all I had to simply try and close the gap between Nicola and myself. He didn't curse or hate or despise me. Not even a little. It was strangely painful knowing you were putting distance between us, but hating you because of it didn't really cross my mind at all. Nicola frowned and looked at me as if I were some mysterious creature. Oh, and even if you were deceiving me, I don't believe all of it was deception. At least, that's how I feel. You're right. Not everything I said was a lie, but... Well then, you shouldn't feel bad about what you did or what happened. Maybe a little bit, but I mean... She's very forgiving. Nicola rubbed his forehead with his fingers and was silent. We just confused the fuck out of this man. It's hilarious. Soon, he sighed and muttered quietly. You're surprisingly forgiving. I have to say, I don't really see that all too often. I think that's a wonderful... that's me. I think that's a wonderful compliment. Thank you, Nicola. So now it's your turn. Is there anything you want to talk about? Let me see. Actually, if I can ask again, why did you betray the Falzone family? Why are you sighing? Listen carefully, Spacey. I'm fine with you being honest with me. But did you think you'd get a straight answer to this question? He was right. That question may have been asking for too much. Betrayals are a life or death matter, so I can't really answer your question. Whoops, sorry. You do understand, don't you? He hasn't... I'm sorry I asked. I lowered my head apologetically, to which he calmly asked me a question. Did you like being with the Falzone? Huh? I raised my head and blinked, bewildered by his sudden question. I liked being with you, Nicola. Points for Spacey. Before I knew it, I nodded somewhat hesitantly in response. I also miss Leo, and I did like Julia. We don't know the cook here. We know Gil and Oliver. Oliver looks at us like he's fed up all the time. He looks like he's fed up all the time, and I'm waiting for him to be like, ugh, oh my god. Just ready. He just looks like he's permanently in a state of gonna sigh, and I'm worried. Like, yes, everyone there was very kind to me. Well, maybe they were only treating me well because I had some value to the family, but that's not true. You know how the church wants you in their possession. Well, only a select few knew about it. Dante and myself, to be exact. Julia, Leo, and everyone else, of course, didn't know, so their kindness was genuine and from the heart. We miss Julia and Leo. I miss Leo. At least you could have brought my little puppy. Who's gonna feed him and take him for walks? I fucking love Leo. It only makes me want to go back there even more. Seeing me smile at him with melancholy, Nicholas smiled back. The Foul Zone prioritizes their bloodline, so sensitive information is kept secret. Dante's very strict about keeping secrets. Does that mean he only trusted you, Nicola? Perhaps. And you stabbed him in the back, eh? He just looks at you. I'm not asking why, I'm just throwing it out there. But I tarnished his name as a boss with my betrayal. Oh, sorry about that. I guess talking about Dante without him around isn't fair. I noticed something was on his mind. Well, I want to hear more if you don't mind. Huh? I smiled at the look of surprise on his face. I thought I said before that I want to know more about you. That means I want to hear about anything and everything. I can't talk much about my responsibilities back at the Foul Zones. How about when you were little then? I spoke about it once before. After a brief pause, Nicola nodded. He paused again and then finally spoke. Don't tell Dante, okay? Of course! Dante's mother passed away, but Dante didn't shed a single tear. Even as a child, I thought that was odd, so I talked to Dante after the funeral. Why didn't you cry back there? Aren't you sad about your mother? Aren't you sad your mother's gone? I'm sure it's okay to cry, you know. Sometimes you just can't cry, Nicola. Don't shame people, okay? Sometimes we're very stoic, even though we're dying inside. Alright? And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, it's years later, and you're like, but I'm not allowed to cry because it's been years. You're allowed to cry no matter what. For whatever reason. But, like, sometimes we're just stressed out and we cry because we can't tie our shoe properly. And then it's like a fucking, like, sob fest over something stupid because it's all the shit that you should have cried about that you didn't cry about just built up, and then it just snaps because, you know, fucking shoelace. I'm just saying. Sometimes people are weird, Nicola. Don't fucking shame us for it, okay? And that's why we have funerals, after all. Don't worry, there's no one else around. He kept silent for a while, but soon tears started to flow from his eyes. No! This is where we get the little baby CG? With poor little Dante crying? Oh, God. No! This game is probably going to make me cry at some point. Like, they killed Sister Sophia, and I was like, what? Oh my God. Like, me almost dying. Like, whole Dante being, like, fucking, like, traumatized when we're laying in a coma was like, this is like, I'm just really emotional right now, I guess. I don't know, but, like, oh my God, this hurt. But look at, they're so adorable. Oh, he's so sad. I'm a Foul Zone. I shouldn't cry, even if I am sad. I'm not supposed to cry. You're like 8! Jesus Christ! And seeing him trying his best to hold back his tears made me realize Dante's all alone. He couldn't show any weakness as the next boss to be. He's still so small, too. He's not all alone. His dad's not dead yet. Oh my God! I love his little sweater vest! I mean, like, little kid in a suit. I mean, like, fucking little Nicola in a little fucking vest is adorable, but the little sweater vest is so nerdy. I love it. Oh, God. I love a vest. Be it a button-up vests are dapper as fuck, okay? More men should wear them, but, like, sweater vests are fucking adorable, too, and I can't. So cute. They're so cute. I just want to squeeze them. Dante. What is it? What is it? My voice squeaking. I'm older than you, and we're family. I don't have any brothers, so... What? Well... If Big and me is your older brother, you can rely on me. Oh my God, they're so cute. Say something, will ya? You're the same Nicola I've always known. Oh, you're the same Nicola I've always known. Calling you brother is... Hey, don't say it. bit embarrassing, so I'll call you what I usually do. But I've always wanted to be better friends with you. You know so much that I don't. Oh, I don't. Spacey's gonna die. My heart can't take it. Oh, Jesus. You think I'm the type to leave a kid like that alone? Dante's father was very strict, so someone had to support him. Or at least that's what I thought. Although what I'm doing now is a far cry from supporting him. It's like he's saying it on the surface, but deep down he's like, I'm not supporting him, but I'm trying to save him. That's what he thinks. Like, that's his mentality, you know what I mean? So no, you're not really supporting him, but you're trying to protect and save him. So, I mean, a really fucked up way to do it, but, you know, sure. Why are you crying? Because the CG was so cute and it hurts. His expression grew concerned as he noticed tears welling up in my eyes. I'm not heartless, Jesus. I was just thinking about things. Dante had been burdened from childhood by his position as heir to the family. I could only imagine how comforted he was when Nicola told him that. Nicola must have supported Dante from that day forward. He suddenly extended an arm out. His finger gently wiped the tears from my eyes. Thank you, Spacey. I didn't do anything. You cried for Dante, and that's worth my thanks. He really does love him. I closed my eyes to fight the tears. Nicola must still consider Dante someone dear to him. He wouldn't show an expression like this if he hated Dante. So, then why... We just can't know yet. Boop. Memory. Shh, we'll come back. Oh, Nicola? Yeah. I haven't reminisced like this in years. I have no clue why I even spoke to her about it. Yeah, you do. Come to think of it, there's one thing I didn't tell Space about. Oh. Dante, I think I said it before. You can cry if you want. There's no one around here. Dante? Something wasn't quite the same with Dante. I found out the next day why he was like that. Julia told me that Dante had been scolded quite badly by his father that day. I can't take it anymore. I want to leave. I don't want to be in the mafia. Oh my god, this is why? Because of something he said when he was like 6? Nicola! I mean, good for you having a memory and being like, I will protect you. Like, for your whole fucking life. Oh my god, though. But seriously, like, he might have changed his mind. It's been like 20 fucking years. Jesus. I'm assuming they're mid to late 20s and we're like, you know, whatever. I'm just... Oh, but then again, it's like Dante's like, he's 14 running the mafia. That's usually how this fucking shit goes. Be like, he's 22. Why? What the fuck? Most people are just fucking drunk off their asses at 22, okay? You know, you've only been drinking for like a year. Not like running a mafia, let's be real. But, you know, anyway. Still, it's been a long time since he said this, but anyway. Dante... He named as the perfect heir to the family name from such a young age. I could only imagine what life was like trying to live up to everyone's expectations. And I shoved the memories back in my mind as I headed back to my room. I still have a lot of things to do to fulfill my mission. Like, Jesus! Like, Nicola's taking this a little far, but... I couldn't seem to figure it out. Why did Nicola betray the Falzone family? Why did he betray Dante? The night quietly deepened as I pondered over my unanswered question. I mean, it's actually kind of nice, because now you know why he does it. I mean, we knew he explained to us why in Dante's route, like, I'm trying to protect you, but now we get the deeper... But, like, why the fuck would you... Okay. Something he said when he was a baby. You're taking to heart now. It's been so long. It's not like he said it and 2 years later you're like, gotta do this. You've been trying your whole life to do that, to free him? Like, Nicola, the fuck? Maybe he's okay with it now. People make peace with things after decades. Like, you know? Maybe you should, like, you're kind of obsessive in a strange way. Again, you're a weirdo, but we love you. A few days later, Gil came to me after dinner. Looks like we got a lead on the killings. What is it? Nothing new, but we're gonna have a summit with all the families. The Berlone Mafia heads were coming together. I could tell very quickly that it must be a critically urgent matter. I'm thinking of having both of you attend the meeting. Okay. Wow, I don't know why I couldn't read that. Thinking of having both of you attend the meeting. Huh? Me? Fine by me. Nicola answered with a straight face. He's like, no. But I could tell the idea wasn't sitting well with him, because Dante's gonna cap his ass. So why is she coming along? He's right. Why me? I'd just be in the way. Just to show face. I need to show the other two that the Visconti has the advantage with you on our side. How would I be an advantage to you? I'm also not on your side. You've kind of kidnapped me. It's not like a choice. Hey, the Falzone and the Lao Shu both want you in their possession. You'd be my ace in hand. When I'd actually use you is another matter. But it's only for the bosses, right? I'm not sure I should really be there. Are you scared? Well, even if you are, I'm gonna need you to tough it out. We're protecting you after all. Why don't we work together and help each other out? Gil's request didn't make sense. He was asking me to help, but it was quite clear that I didn't have a choice. I think the killings are being carried out by a third party outside of the Mafia. I'm just saying. It's either Emilio, but I feel like he's a little too nice to get his hands that dirty. And I'm just saying, we know Direttore, or Henry. I'm sorry, we know that's his name now. That was absolutely him at the end of Dante's thing. You knew because it was like, oh, he disappeared. And you're like, what? And then all of a sudden Emilio's like, ahem. And then he called him Henry. Okay, so there you go. I'm sorry. Fight me. But it's him. Because you know he's doing shady shit. He's been doing shady shit in Dante's ride. He wasn't just there. He's also on the cover, so he's got like a bigger part than just being like a random side character. For fuck's sake. He's on the cover of the game. But Leo's been around more. So I'm just saying, he's important. So, anyway. If so, it's really no time to be squabbling amongst ourselves. I think it might be him. It's the only thing I can think of aside from, like, you know, Yang actually doing it because Rosberg said to, and then he's just killing his own people because, like, fuck it. Like, could absolutely be the truth. 100% if they threw that at me, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I could see it. But I'm still suspecting Direttore. Anyway. And we start... Oh, I'm sorry. Sebastiano, as he called himself. Your name's not Sebastian, but whatever. And if we start fighting each other, the civilians are going to get caught in the crossfire. And we're not that bloodthirsty. I want to avoid casualties as much as possible. Gil looked at me sternly and pleaded in a serious tone. Please, you have to help. For Berlone. Wow. I want to avoid casualties too. I don't know why I can't talk today. We're both looking at me. They waited for me to continue. I took a deep breath and spoke with resolve. I don't want to do it. I'm scared. Just kidding. Oh, we're hurt. Never mind. No, if we were me, I'd absolutely. I'm not sure how much I can really help by being there, but if it's to help make the meeting a success, I'll go. For the sake of Berlone. Grazie, signorina. Oh, God, my eyeball. I just itched my eye, but fucking cut jalapenos before, so now my eye burns a little. It's not like it's not the 7,000th time I've done it, but like you get that fucking jalapeno juice in your tear duct, and you're like... Gil had a satisfied grin on his face and laughed with his high spirits. Nicola, do you have a moment? After dinner, I managed to catch Nicola before he returned to his room. Sure. What is it? About the meeting. Are you really going to go, too? Of course. Isn't there an option for you not to go? I figured you'd be lonely without me around, my dear Space. Stop joking! I'm serious! Because it'll be awkward. It'll be dangerous. Isn't it dangerous for you to appear in front of Dante? My concerns stem from what Nicola himself mentioned to me before. Wow. Mentioned to be before. Me. Mentioned to be before. We obviously have a cold. In any case, I'm a traitor. I'll be clipped sooner or later. And Dante may do it as the Falzone's boss, or maybe someone in the Visconti will lay their hands on me. At the very least, he wouldn't try to attack me at the meeting. After all, these meetings are held under a strict no-arms rule by Mafia oath. I guess I'm worrying too much. Well, I can't say it's completely safe. There are ways and means. That aside, you should be worried about yourself. Oh, and with that, Nicola turned around and took his leave. Suggestion? That makes some suggestive looks. Oh no, wrong. Okay. Okay, so it's either Marco or Roberto. Whatever. Stronzo! That idiot! I unleashed my anger with a swift kick to the desk. Hey, Robbie, watch it. Whose Jess do you think that is? Marco, thought you already left. Same to you. So you got yelled at by the chief, eh? The hell did you do this time? All I did was suggest we do a full sweep of the Mafia residences. Oh, well, I can see why I yelled at you. But we need to act now, or else... Roberto, you suggested that because of the girl, right? He's totally in love with us. It'd be the funniest fucking, route. He'd, whoosh in and rescue us and be like, who the fuck are you? I kind of just love it. You can't give me a fan disc without, a side piece like that. It's just, I could just see the whole relationship. It'd just be the most awkward thing ever. She'd be super nice. You'd just be I rescued her, and because I love her, and don't know how to treat her. He'd be more fucking awkward and not being able to figure out how to deal with us than, Nicola's slightly perplexed by us. And you want to be my friend? Wait, what? He's a little confused by us. Dante is I'm blushy and awkward like a fucking marshmallow, and then, this guy would just be so... Oh my god, it'd just be fucking hilarious. You can absolutely picture the rat. It'd be great, and you want it too. Jesus. Fucking die. Anyway. If so, you don't need to worry about her. The Falzone and the Visconti aren't serial killers. They don't go around whacking civilians. I frowned hearing Marco try to console me with baseless reassurances. And on what basis are you certain of that, Marco? They're dirty scoundrels and thieves, and happily kill a sister of the church. Oh, come on now, you can't be... She's in danger just by being next to Nicola Francesca. The man betrayed his own family. She's bound to be his next victim. The chief frowned at my suggestion earlier. I knew he wouldn't take that well, especially with how rooted the Mafia was in this town. Aside from my suggestion being too revolutionary, the other reason I could think of was... in relation to the death of the Falzone family capo regime here in our cell. It seemed the chief was scared of potential repercussions from that death. Chief, did you have a chance to look through my report? Chief? Your report's beyond reason. I can't allow it. I disagree. With the right moves, we can eliminate the Barlone Mafia and... The chief interrupted me with a glare. The Falzone's Domenico... Giordani? No. Domenico Giordani. Wow, that's a name. That's a lot. I can't say Falzone's Domenico Giordani all in one fucking fell swoop. It's just too much for me. Anyway, died in our cell. It's something that should have never happened. Falzone isn't happy about it, and making amends is taking up too much time. We should be able to offend those lousy criminals as much as we want. We're also getting hounded by Gerald Paris. He's livid that we've smeared his reputation with these killings. And it's all your fault. He's like me, I didn't do anything. You said to bring the Falzone's capo regime here on petty charges. You then forced him to accept whatever evidence you had to stamp out the Falzone. Roberto, you suggested that, and look at the results. There's no way we can get a dead man to support any evidence. The evidence you brought against him was suspect to begin with. Like I said, we need to take action in order to bring... Just shut up already! You may be an elite on the track to stardom, but Your suggestion put us on the hot seat with every damn person in this town! What a letdown. Get the hell out of here! The police here are pure scum! The absolute bottom of the barrel! I can't believe he's whimpering in fear from the death of one lousy criminal! I slammed my fist on the desk, but my anger didn't dissipate. I really just want to read more of him because I get to be angry and it's fun. You know, you should go home and rest already. Nothing good comes from stress. And just wait till the opportunity comes to take action. I didn't take notice of Marco's words or his departure from the room. First, the Visconti needs to be dealt with. I need to find incriminating evidence to use against them. If I have to, I'll go myself and... That's right. Why didn't I think of it earlier? Not a single one of these hoodlums has a sense of justice that I do. If so, I should do this myself. Who needs their help? I'll do what I need to do just like before. He's gonna get himself fucking killed. I'm the only one who can serve justice. Like, his justice boner is gonna get him killed. That's all I'm saying. And with that, Nicola turned around and took his leave. Sure, I'm worried, but... I was more worried about him, so that it was all... I was more worried about him, so much so that it was all consuming. The day of the meeting finally arrived. Yay! It feels so tense here. You knew it was going to be here. It's like neutral ground. Well, each family has their members surrounding the area, you know? Amidst the pressing silence, we walked toward the casino entrance. I began to chat casually in an attempt to stave off the surmounting tension. I used to walk through the streets here because the church was close by, but I never thought I'd actually go inside the casino one day. Oh my god, that's true! We haven't met Direttore yet. Oh, not in this route. Most of the patrons here are tourists, and the Falzone family doesn't dabble in gambling, so I've never been here for that purpose either. Really? I quelled my anxiety to hear him respond just as casually. Oh, it quelled my anxiety to hear him. That makes more sense. We're going from the back into the second floor. The meeting's going to be held in a private room. We followed Gil, who was taking the lead. Nicola was walking alongside me at my pace. This casino's operated by the government, so no one family has leverage here. And the Direttore here does offer us help, and we borrow the place in emergencies. Direttore, a word meaning director in Italian. Come to think of it, I recall seeing guards around the casino on some days. I always thought that meant an important person was visiting. It was probably us using the place. Oh, but there are some days that VIPs do come here. I never expected it to be used in this way. Seriously? You're not going to show me the Phantom of the Opera? Where the fuck is my Phantom? Give me the... I'm sorry. I know. I keep calling him Phantom of the Opera. He's the Phantom of the Casino. And I'm like, Direttore, Henry, Sebastiano, whatever the fuck you want to call him. I don't give a shit. He's the Phantom of the fucking casino. Where the fuck is he? Give me my fucking preciousness. Like, I don't even care. I love him. He's fucking magical. We finally arrived in front of the doors leading into the room. The heavy doors slowly opened, beckoning us inside. There in the room was Dante. Oh. I do love you too. Dante. Gil called out to Dante, who was looking quite irritated. Yeah, I mean, poor Dante. I feel bad for him. Gil's like, what's up? I got your girl and your boy. Dante's like, fuck! This sucks! What's with the face, Dante? You still hate casinos? Gambling defiles the pride of men of honor. He's such a fucking hijikata. And aside from how he stands, I just feel like that's like... that's such... Is that like a trope? Is hijikata a trope? Like... So funny. If I had the choice, I wouldn't step foot in here. Oh, Dante. Dante looked beyond Gil. He seemed to be looking at Nicola. Dante's expression didn't change, and neither did Nicola's. Nicola's dying inside, but they both must feel uneasy. I was sure they were feeling upset deep down. I looked around the room as I thought, and suddenly my gaze fell upon Dante. Oh, buongiorno, Dante. I bowed my head to say hello to him, since it would be strange not to. You seem to be doing well. Yes, I'm doing fine, somehow. I brought someone who wished to speak to you. Leo? Huh? A man hesitantly appeared from behind Dante. Oh, this guy? Oh no, I was really hoping it was my puppy. Where's my puppy? Where's my little Leo? I just want to give him a little pet on the head. Just ruffle his hair. Good boy, you'll be a good boy for Dante while I'm gone. What? He's such a good boy. Anyway,
I came because I wanted to apologize to you in person. Please do forgive me.
He was the person who tried to kill me when his family was held hostage by the Lao Shu. Are you okay?
The boss saved my family from the Lao Shu.
Then are they safe?
Yes, they're someplace safe now and far away.
That's good to hear. It did feel strange talking to him like this. I was even a bit scared seeing him. But hearing that his family was safe made me sigh with relief.
So I'm back with the family and have returned to my usual duties. I made an oath to never betray the boss again. Gonna atone for my sins.
I feel like Dante, this is like a jab at fucking Nicola too. Like, I'm never gonna betray the family again. And Dante's like, I'm just saying, Nicola. I will only take a couple fingernails. Maybe both your ears. I don't know. He spoke boldly and with resolve. Then he scratched his cheek a little.
And, are you alright?
Me?
I know I don't have the right to ask, but I was just worried about you. After all, you did save my life.
Thank you for thinking about me. I'm doing just fine. They're treating me quite well. After hearing my words, he began glaring at Nicola.
So, why is the person who denounced my betrayal standing over there?
I'll leave that to your imagination. I have no obligation to tell you. Nicola chuckled and stared coldly at him. Like, the thing is, you're mad at Nicola. You were the one who betrayed your family. You knew what was going to happen. Nicola was just like, I'm just going with what fucking... Those are the guidelines, man. I'm following the rules. Nicola's reply riled the man up, who spoke in an aggravated voice.
The hell are you thinking? You said it yourself. Betrayals aren't tolerated.
And yet you're not dead. This guy's got no leg to stand on. He does have legs. Nicola didn't get to take them, but you're lucky. It's the only reason you have a leg to stand on is because Nicola didn't break your fucking kneecap. Stopped at your ear.
After that high and mighty speech you gave me, you get to walk free?
Oh, looks like I made myself an enemy.
What did you expect?
You do know I saved your life, right? Or would you have preferred that I actually killed you that night?
What? You...
Stop. Stop. Please don't. Dante calmly commanded his irate soldier to halt. He shut his mouth, but I could tell his anger was still swelling inside. His eyes burned with hatred. Come to think of it, what I saw back then was so shocking that I didn't have a firm grasp on things. But when I thought back on it...
Understood. What about him? You want him clipped?
Well, he may have some information that we don't have yet. Leo, you mind patching him up so that he doesn't die before we get more intel? Nicola actually made an excuse to keep him alive? It was then that I felt cold air against the back of my neck. I quickly turned around to see a man walking into the room. It looks like I've kept you all waiting. Despite his apologetic tone, he had an eerie smile on his face. He's gorgeous. What? He is! I love him! It was clear this man wasn't normal. Again, probably why we like him. I'm probably gonna hate his rap. I don't even know. I'd never seen him before, but somehow I knew who he was. Oh, that's true! We haven't met him before in this route, have we? Exotic attire and an aura of prominence. He was the Lao Shu's leader, Yang. So beautiful. In like a, I'm gonna fucking stab you kind of way. I mean, absolutely.
Late as usual, Yang.
You were late too, only I arrived on time. I thought men who were particular of the time were frowned upon in this country. He took a seat at the table. Yang suddenly began the conversation with a provocative tone. It's been a while since we all met, though I personally see no value in doing so. Frankly, I have no trust in the Foul Zone or the Visconti.
You're making it sound like we did something to you.
I heard a rumor. The Falzone's underboss turned on his family and went to the Visconti. How disappointing. I suppose the Falzone's boss lacks the power to keep his men together. You're free to be as disappointed as you like. I have no interest in pleasing you. Fanfiction's going wild now. We work in the same town, yet we all suffer from distrust. Quite the problem, isn't it? Yang continued to try and provoke them. He then looked at Gil. I thought I misheard when I heard that the Visconti accepted Francesca into their fold. Once a traitor and all that. Foolish is a nice way of describing what you've done. I call it headhunting. I hope you know what that word means. Nicola's a talented guy. The Visconti accepts any and all who can demonstrate value to our family. I can only hope it goes well. I'll accept your good wishes, but I'd like to end this conversation. I'm the head of the Visconti, so I'll do as I please when it comes to my family. Well then, what kind of excuses could you conjure up in relation to her? You all know who the church's Bishop Joseph von Rosberg is, don't you? His Excellency has asked the Lao Shu to take a special young lady into custody. Special? Is he referring to what Nicola said? But I thought the Lao Shu wanted to sell me to the church. How His Excellency must suffer to know she must live in this mafia-infested town. So I went to take her far from such danger when the Falzone intervened. That's not what happened! Oh? Yang was staring at me with his golden eyes. It was too late for me to take back what I just said. I tried to keep up a strong front and look straight back at him. The Falzone family saved me and my friend when the Lao Shu attacked us. Attacked is such a strong word. Are you saying that didn't happen? Nicholas spoke in a harsh tone. Yeah, that's not a harsh tone. Yang shook his head. We have the hardest time adapting to the fine mannerisms of this country. I suppose we were unintentionally rough back then. Unintentionally? With the injuries Elena had to bear? Yang's unapologetic attitude was getting on my nerves. But now it looks like the girl's with the Visconti and not the Falzone. Can I assume you two have a deal in place for that to have happened? That's impossible. Gil bluntly denied Yang's allegations. There's no way the Falzone family would work with the Visconti, especially considering how different our philosophies are. I can concur with what Gilbert said. However, I do have my suspicions of the Visconti at present. She was our guest, but was later abducted when someone betrayed us. When someone betrayed us! There's some emphasis on there. The Visconti not only took the person in, but also hasn't returned our guest to us. One might see this as a declaration of war against the Falzone. Falzone, I have an idea. Why don't I take her while you two settle your disagreement? I love how everyone's fighting over me. It makes me feel special. Slightly terrified, but also special. Dante's brow twitched. It was clear that he was irate at Yang, but Yang continued to smile eerily. I know we're over, but Berlone isn't as safe as it was before, what with all these bodies being found. Handing her over to Bishop Rosberg's the best way to ensure her safety. As a maiden of the church, being in such company would be a great honor. Yang, that's... Silence, Francesca. You have no speaking rights here. Don't tell me the Visconti is holding her down by force. I think that's what you're going to end up doing to us. Just saying. Be prepared. If so, the Lao Shu will move to action to take custody of her. Nonsense. She isn't locked up in some room or anything. She's free to do what she wants, except for, leave. And, most of the stuff she wants. If so, then I'd like to hear her thoughts. I sure as fuck don't want to go with you. Not now. Maybe later. I mean, I kind of do want to go with him, but obviously we're not going to. We're in love with Nicola, so. I could tell everyone in the room was looking at me now. I should be careful with what I say! Signor, I appreciate your concern, but I'd like to stay with the Visconti and remain in Berlone. And May I ask the reason why? Because I'm in love with Francesca. With Nicola. Like, well, I'm not sure how important I am to the church, but if I am someone special to them, they would come to me, wouldn't they? I don't understand why they would ask someone else to take custody of me on their behalf. Damn, girl smart. Yang's like, fuck. I'd rather not leave town without a firm understanding of the situation. That should make sense, right?
Fine. The Falzone will honor her decision.
Thank you, Dante. Fair enough. I can't deny your reasoning. Yang narrowed his eyes and grinned. It seemed he was taking an interest in me.
Anyway, the reason we're here is to discuss a more important subject. So let's get down to it. Nicola, would you escort her outside?
Yeah, understood. Nicola nodded, taking me by the shoulder and leading us to the door. Okay, we gotta stop here. So anyway, we're not done, but like, woo! That was fun. So we will continue down this path and see what happens next time. So I'll see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.